Happy Labor Day, YouTube friends. Today is a day we celebrate all of the labor and hard work we've done for a year, and we have the day off. And yet, interestingly, here you are watching YouTube trying to figure out how to better yourself and how to grow your business with Airbnb. So congratulations. Kudos. As promised in the last video, we're trying out different formats. We're going to do a Q&A session. Because we don't have a formalized process yet for you to submit your questions, we merely went through the different comments and feedback that everyone's been so gracious and kind to provide us. We selected 5 questions and we're going to go ahead and answer them. So let's get started right now. Is it better to instant book or not? Here's my personal opinion, and I've tried it both ways. I know for a fact Instant Book is super helpful from an SEO perspective, and what that means is Airbnb is going to prioritize the listings that show Instant Book availability. In fact, if you yourself have been to Airbnb as a guest, as I have recently, it'll actually pop up a little popover that says, would you like to see the Instant Book options only? So they're really pushing Instant Book. I know from a user experience perspective, it's really frustrating to wait and hear back whether it's available and answer questions and so on. And the way I think all of short-term rentals are going is much more towards that like instant buy that they do on Kayak or Expedia or anything like that. So Instant Book is definitely a good thing to do from a SEO perspective and from getting more bookings perspective. However, there are some cons, so let's talk about those. One, you have to be ready. You have to be willing and nimble and able to accommodate a last-minute booking. Instant bookings can occur the same day. So if you're not prepared to handle that, I would definitely recommend turning it off because you'd rather have the missed opportunity than a bad experience. The second thing is I've had 2 bad experiences, really bad experiences on Airbnb, and both of them have come from instant booking where I didn't cancel. I didn't see anything really strange about it other than it was an instant book. It turns out I think somebody had hijacked somebody else's account, and so while everything looked kosher, in the end it was a bad experience, and therefore after those bad experiences I actually disabled instant book for a period of time. Airbnb has added additional verification and opportunities for me to make my instant book more stringent. So go ahead and review those different policies and pick the ones that are best for you. And it's a very personal question. You're going to have to decide for yourself. Overall, I'm a fan of instant book. It's the wave of the future, but you need to be prepared to do it, and you have to be cautious and go ahead and cancel if something doesn't feel quite right. How do you handle guests you don't want in your home without getting confrontational, especially if a host uses instant booking? Thanks. This is a really good question. It's tough and it's challenging, but I think the best way to do it is to be professional and also transparent. And so what I find is in situations like this, I often say something like, I'm really sorry to say this doesn't appear to be a good fit. We really want to have a great experience for both us and you, and for a variety of reasons this doesn't really seem to suit us. So unfortunately we must cancel. Now that's in the instant book situation where you're going to go ahead and cancel it. I don't get into any specifics. I don't talk about anything that's at all questionable, like age or race or income or education or anything, right? Like just leave it very, very vague. But if your gut tells you that it's not a good fit, just be honest and transparent. And I try and put as much of the emphasis on them and their experience as on me. So I make it about us. This isn't a good fit for us. We want to have a good hosting experience. We want to have you have a great guest experience. And I just don't think this is a good fit. That's typically the type of line and the language that I use, whether it's instant book or not. And I've never had any pushback. I've had 1 or 2 people come back and say, I don't understand, can you explain it? And at that point I just sort of say, I'm sorry, it's really not going to work, spend your time somewhere else, I wish you all the best of luck, and then they go away, and there's no harm, no foul on your hosting status, on your feedback, you don't have a bad experience, and trust your gut. I can't tell you how much more important that is than trying to be the nice guy and accommodate and go through something that you don't think is going to be right and then it is bad. That's just much worse, so just don't go there. Do you own any international properties? Would like to see a video on how to handle those. Quite timely. If you paid attention to the prior video, we talked about the fact that everything I've done thus far, I have 6 different properties here in the United States of America, and I'm breaking ground, I'm expanding, I'm moving globally, and I'm looking at properties in a variety of different continents, including a property in Bali and a property in Costa Rica. I don't know whether they're going to come to fruition or what that time frame is, but I'm expanding my horizon, and part of the content that we talked about being a little bit more creative and more reality based is to sort of like show you the trials and tribulations, the good, the bad, and the ugly as I go ahead and learn about doing things internationally with different customs and different procedures and processes and so on. So great question. Stay tuned. You're going to watch, you're going to learn in real time as I am. So I'm excited to do it. I think it's a tremendous opportunity internationally. Plus, I personally want to spend more time abroad, and now's the time to do it. So come along for the ride. Richard, your videos are great and clearly come from a voice of experience. Do you consider pets as unwanted guests? What is your policy concerning concerning pets? If you don't accept pets, how do you respond to discover a guest has a pet on your property? If you do accept pets, do you charge more and an extra security deposit? Thanks for all of your advice. Really, really good question, a really personal question. I myself have a dog. I'm a dog lover. I'm a big fan of dogs. Not so much cats, because cats with urine and hair and everything are even messier than dogs, believe it or not. And I've never had anybody actually ask about traveling with their cat, although we do get questions all the time in all of our different properties about dogs, and it's a very tricky and personal response. My response tends to be, I don't encourage dogs, and I say something like, while I myself am a huge dog lover, not all of my guests are dog lovers, and certainly my cleaning crew is not a dog lover. I have a couple of properties where I do permit them. I dissuade them. I ask a lot of questions about their age and whether they'll be kept in a kennel. I do in fact charge a larger cleaning fee and also a larger security deposit. I've never had to charge more for the cleaning or the security. Generally, people that travel with their dog do so and are quite responsible, and their dog is responsible, but I like that added security. But as much as possible, I try and refrain and dissuade. In certain properties, I just outright reject and say no. In others, I'll entertain and ask some questions and then charge more. And I really try and verbalize it and be empathetic and say, I love dogs, I have a dog, but it's really not about me. This is a community, and I have other guests, and some of them are allergic, and my cleaning crews find it, much more challenging, and that's why there's a cost. And I would say, on average, 50% of the people with the dog will come and pay the extra fees and the cleaning and so on, and 50% will understand and say, okay, well, I thought I'd ask. And then, believe it or not, to your point, there are people who just show up with dogs unannounced. And in that particular case, the home that I'm talking about in most particular has somebody who meets them, so we find out, and then we go ahead and let them know that they are going to be facing an extra cleaning fee and also an extra security deposit. And once they're there with their dog, that's really all they care about. It's no longer about money, it's about like their pet with them on vacation and so on. So I've never had a really bad experience. That said, I don't really want one, and so because I'm running a sustainable and repeatable business that I want to run for years to come, I try and dissuade it, because no matter what, there's more wear and tear. Somebody's going to be allergic, there's going to be a stain, something's going to get chewed, and so I just try and avoid it. Can I ask, if I actually cancel someone's reservation, would it affect me in the future Airbnb reviews? This is a great question, because Airbnb is changing their policy all the time, and some of the most recent changes are both advantageous for hosts and others are advantageous for the guest. So let's talk about them, and I'll go ahead and link them here, because I'm not going to memorize them or get them all right. But in a nutshell, what Airbnb, as I said earlier in this Q&A, really wants to do is get to a place where Instant Book is on, people know that there's availability and people can stay there, and then they empower recently the hosts to go ahead and cancel as many instant bookings as possible if you're not comfortable with it. Again, Airbnb wants Instant Book on. So that's a good thing to know, that you can cancel unlimited. If you don't have a good feeling about it, or for any reason or no reason at all, you can go ahead and cancel. The flip side is Airbnb also has now imposed a lot of penalties in place if you cancel a regular reservation. So they will deduct up to $100 from your next payout if you cancel a reservation within 7 days. If it's more than 7 days out, it's $50. If you cancel more than 3 reservations in a year, they may deactivate your account altogether, and this has an impact on your ability to be a host for 12 months. So If you have Instant On, you can go ahead and cancel unlimited with no penalty. If you don't, then you better not cancel. Now, I'm not exactly sure in the question whether you mean the guest that was canceled on, whether they have the ability to review you, and the answer there is no, although in your timeline feed, it will show the fact that you did cancel. So people that are thinking about booking with you will see that you actually canceled. The reason this is important is, as a guest, you might be traveling from afar, you might be traveling with a family, you need to know that your place is ready and available, just like you would if you were checking into a Marriott hotel. Nobody wants to be canceled on. It's really a waste of time, it's inconvenient, it creates uncertainty, and the whole community suffers as a result of that. So therefore, they go ahead and put that in the timeline. People can see how many times you canceled, and that's why Airbnb will go ahead and penalize you or even cancel your account altogether, and they won't let you be a superhost. I hope you found that helpful. All right, folks, that's it. It's Labor Day, so don't forget to go flip the burger on the grill, roast the brisket, whatever it is that you're doing. Enjoy your time, enjoy your loved ones, take some time to yourself, rest and relax. I really appreciate you following the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Go ahead and like the video. We're going to let you know how to participate in future questions, but in the meantime, as you can see, engaging with us, giving us your feedback and your comments is a great way to start. We may even feature your question in the meantime. So really appreciate everything that you do for us and with us, and love the community. Thank you so very much. Subscribe. Happy Labor Day. I wish I was barbecuing, but it's not until later. I will be soon. See ya.